Happy Monday. Today is Monday, Valentine's Day. You can see there is a dish towel in the floor. Cabinet doors are open. I have a schedule where I work on one room every week to keep the house clean. I'm sure I could do better. The stove is a mess right now. I'm pulling out spices and things to clean out the counter space and to get rid of what we don't use or what is expired. I love this kitchen. It reminds me a lot of my old house, the way it is set up. And I'm thinking about putting in some sort of bar across here, or like an iron, a pot rack is what I'm thinking, to hang some things up. I had that in my old house and I always loved it so much. Not sure about that. I have a bowl of things to take out to the compost. I need to put this away. We have leftovers from last night. I cooked chicken and rice, but I went ahead and that's butter you see in there. This is going to be scalloped potatoes. Last night at the grocery store, they had 8-pound bags of russet potatoes for only $2.99. So I've worked that into my menu plan for this week. Oh my goodness, it is now Monday evening and I didn't plan on recording anything out here. I am such a mess. I was supposed to spend 15 minutes in the kitchen cleaning and I ended up in there for probably a couple of hours, which is nice. I have a cleaning schedule where I spend a little bit of time every day in one room to just purge, dust, vacuum, and that way at the end of the week, and we vacuum actually more than that. Jason runs the vacuum cleaner because we have cats, but I like to focus on the rooms in such a way that at the end of the week I've touched every room and done a little bit of deep cleaning. I guess you can't call it deep cleaning if you're only spending 15 minutes, but I think you know what I mean. It's been a really good day. I can't complain at all. Jason and I have both been off work today and just, well, I always work. I'm always working on my channels, scanning old images, thinking of ideas for the next video, or working on things out here that I will be able to share. I've put together fabric packs and I do have the fun kits. I recorded a video a couple of days ago and then I wasn't satisfied with it. So I'm going to be listing a lot of things in the Etsy shop soon. I'm going out tomorrow to volunteer somewhere, but that's a totally different story. Anyway, today's been a good day. I like it when Jason and I are both here all day and we have these low-key days. I made the scalloped potatoes and they are so good. We got into them a little bit early. I mean, dinner is not quite, it's not time for dinner, I should say. We eat kind of late, probably too late then is really healthy, but yeah, it's just our schedule. He's a musician and I've always been a night owl, so it works for us. Anyway, it's just been a beautiful day. And now here we are at the art desk. It's a bit of a mess. I think I always say that. So let's clean up just a little bit. I'll put the cap on this glue. It's a miracle that I have the cap. I'm trying to be really good and keep up with it this time. We will slide this back. A lot of this stuff kind of stays out on the perimeter, and you can tell by looking at this that I work here all the time. This can't be on here too much longer before it has to come off and become part of a really amazing art journal. We even have a little bird stamp tested there. A couple of things I wanted to show you. One is the art journal. The other one is the planner for February. I think you all know pretty much how I do this by now. It's about 4 by 5 inches. It is a combination of writing down things I need to take care of, a little bit of art journaling. I put labels and trash in here, birds from my desk calendar, pretty paper, just whatever makes me happy. I typically write the days into the calendar and then write down appointments and things and work schedules, dates that Jason and I might have, dinner with friends or something like that. like here you can see work on clothes, bring highlighter in house to desk. Like that's something that I just needed to remember to do. Jason has rehearsal, leftovers for dinner. This works for me so nicely because I'm constantly thinking of things I want to get done. This journal is small enough to carry around with me. I just wanted you to see how that's coming along. I need to go through this second half and staple in some tabs. Anyway, that's where we are with the planner. With the art journal, oh my goodness, I'm just loving this journal. You might remember the front. I came back with some more ink. This is a washer that I found in a parking lot, so I stitched it in with some really heavy hemp cord, and you can see where that's tied on the other side. I wrote now with weighted pages, which is totally ridiculous. It's just, you know, I'm trying to make it look like little wording that would be in a real encyclopedia. In the front we have beautiful person. This is from a vintage calendar page that I found while out thrifting. And then this beautiful little corner here, I can't even read the whole thing. It looks like it might be the beginning of the word Vogue, and then it has merchandise underneath. So that was, you know how cardboard gets really stiff and when you bend it, it just cracks? That felt like that, so I went ahead and glued it in. These are numbers that you're gonna see that came from the back of the vintage calendar. I have the new encyclopedia, copyright 2022, A Bit of Birdsong. Jay sent me this stamp. This is an image that I scanned from an old photograph. I really want to add something to this, I think. I'm not sure yet. You can see where I used my letter stamps that I pressed really hard, and that was intentional. I don't always do that. So we may come back and add a second layer. This page, basically a lot of gluing. I love these words, eminent domain, not because I love eminent domain, but it just conjures up to me conflict, personal property, ideas like for the greater good and things like that. Here's a page from a spelling book or a, yeah, like for spelling bees. It's not a school textbook. That is just a piece of ephemera. What do you want to be when you grow up? Wilson 3, on target with people, Larry Wilson. It looked like it was from some sort of script or something. And then I think I did this art page on camera. I went back and added a number here. I bought a few new bottles of acrylic paint. They are Apple Barrel brand, so they're really inexpensive. Sunbeam, Cobalt Hue, and Bright Magenta. Honestly, I'm trying to do really, really good. Is that the way to say it with my money? I'm trying to be very careful, keep track of all of my spending, and I walked on the sidewalk from Michael's to Walmart. They're basically side by side to compare prices, and I just decided, what the heck, I'm gonna get these, you know, 94-cent bottles instead of paying $1.99 or whatever it ended up being at Michael's. I got them from Walmart, and I'm not opposed to buying expensive paint. For this though, I was just, I don't know, just making an art journal page. We've got bubble wrap that I pressed onto the page here, a number of layers of paper here, and then a rusty safety pin. We've got some threads that I actually pulled off of this fabric here, and I tied it onto the rusty safety pin. I may come back and add more to this. There's a really pretty vintage blue ribbon that I glued down the page. I don't consider a page ever really done. I think as we grow and change and ideas come to us, we can keep going back through journals and adding things. This is from an old photograph I found, and I cut most of it out. I think somebody was sightseeing. This was not a photograph I took. There's another number there. We've got Einstein. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. I've used that quote before. I really like that. I wish this sentiment was shared more in middle school and high school to help kids figure out what they really, really do like and want to do with their lives without feeling any pressure or fear or like, I can't do this. This is cut out from a photograph that's not mine either. This is a scan that I did today from an old almanac. So that I'm hoping to put that on the website soon. This is some paper that I found digging through some bits and bobs in a thrift store. So I have more of that to use. And look at this. So I love this. I wanted to cut out a few, like glue a few pages together and have this cutout space. What I was really thinking about was being able to sort of bury a piece of something so that it can lay flat on this page and not stick up above the other pages. Something I'm still working with. We have the elephant here. I just put the word pink there because obviously there's a lot of pink, and you know what? We could add more. I love art journaling. That could stay like it is, or we could come back with water and run that a little bit. We could add a little bit here. And you know, that'll dry. I'm not worried about that. It's okay like this. That'll be really cool when it dries. But I did glue several sheets together, and there was one sheet in the center that I didn't want to lose George Eliot or T.S. Eliot. I basically tore the corners out of the pages before and after. So we've got this sort of flimsy, like vulnerable corner of one page, and the rest are glued together. And then we have the cutout here. We may add something out here to really pop. Like you see this window and you think, oh, what's that on the other side? Right now, it's just a staple. I punched holes with an awl, put a piece of wire, and here is another one of the weighted pages. This is a rusty washer I found in a parking lot. To help reinforce this, I've got some, they're not really hole reinforcements, although that is how I file them in my workshop, or store them, if you will. They are the paper ends of vintage bobbins, and they pull off pretty easily. So I glued those to add extra support to the page, punched the wire through, and then just sort of rolled it up with one of my jewelry pliers. It's the round nose, or whatever they're called. And then over here, we've got Queen Elizabeth II, and I had already glued her into place and put all this nice gold paint around, and I realized that when the page closed, this wire was going to be rubbing against that image, and I thought, ugh, that's going to end up really yucky. So I took some clear paper. This is a page protector. Jay, you might have sent me these. I didn't measure. This is nothing fancy. Underneath, I wrote the words. Then I wrote the words, "God Save the Queen," from wire, and cut those out and stapled it all underneath that transparency paper. And then this page is a little bit difficult to turn because it's so thick, but it's really fun. So here under T.S. Eliot, I have "I Don't Turn Easy." And moving on, a lot of men in history. Again, I've already mentioned that. We have John Milton, Ben Jonson, and here is Queen Elizabeth I, who has been glued under part of a box that some playing cards came in, and it says "Impossible" across the top. Here we have Queen Mary I, and that's about as far as I have gotten. I've got very happy today. It has been a nice day. I've achieved a lot of things today as far as cleaning and just purging and paperwork, writing down goals for the channel, and working on finances, my book where I write down, you know, every cent that I spend so I can figure out where every cent is going. So indeed, it has been a good day. I am so grateful for every single day, but you know, some days you just feel like you really got a lot done, and have a bit of a mess out here. I'm working on different listings. This is where I keep the fun packs until I can sort them and get them all bundled up. Got some beautiful Christmas ribbon that I need to list. Mary, this gorgeous wall hanging, is ever present and makes me so happy all the time. And there is the little art journal. I am going to go in, probably sit down on the couch, turn the fireplace on. You can see me over there in the mirror, and work on crossword puzzles on my iPad, or maybe edit this video. So I'll see you soon. Bye.